We back. All right. We got what anime understands about superheroes that Marvel doesn't by Pay Lover. What I understand as a fucking anime and a Marvel fan, that being a hero is a job. You feel me? It's a job. It's not going. It's gonna give you. Man, it's a job that doesn't pay. Being a hero sucks. You get the fame, but like niggas still be broke. Nigga, if I got superpowers, I'm stealing everything and giving it back to the communities, nigga. The African communities. Take back what is ours. You feel me? And we have a true democracy in this bitch. You feel me? Where everybody's equal. Everybody. But oh shit. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, hit a bell, hit that little bell, that red little bell that keeps you notified with all my bangers. You feel me? But let's get that on it.
Marvel Cinematic Universe is one of the most iconic parts of Hollywood. For a very long time, when people thought about superheroes, they immediately thought about the MCU. But while all of this was happening, on the other side of the world, anime was quietly releasing its own superhero stories. These two worlds didn't just feel completely different, they also had fundamentally different ideas about what a hero is. Fast forward to today, superhero anime is thriving. Okay, maybe not all superhero anime, but you get the idea. Meanwhile, the MCU feels kinda stuck, way less relevant, and struggling to recapture that magic it once had. But why? Why are people gravitating towards anime superheroes while slowly losing interest in Marvels? What does
Because because them Asian niggas can fucking story write, bro. It's like their imagination goes to what they're writing and it be beautiful. Beautiful as fuck. And that's just the way of anime, bro. Demon Slayer, fire. By the way.
anime understand about this genre that the MCU doesn't? And ultimately, who actually does superheroes better? First thing you need to know is that the MCU has pretty much been around for nearly 20 years. To really see how it evolved, let's look at one of the earliest films, one from the middle, and one of the recent releases. And if we're doing this properly, we have to start with the movie that started the whole thing, Iron Man. Tony Stark is an absolute piece of garbage. He's arrogant, mean, and his job is to make weapons. But then he gets attacked by people using the weapons he created while being trapped in a tiny cave where he's forced to.
Bro, that's weird because I never got to watch the first Iron Man movie. I always watched the second one, and after that, I never really got to watch the first Iron Man movie. Yeah, now I feel like I gotta watch it. I gotta put that on my checklist.
Build them a missile, he realizes that maybe he should stop doing that once he leaves. So he creates the Iron Man suit, escapes, comes back, and shuts down the weapons thing forever. Everyone loses their mind because he just decided to tank his own company's entire business. His mentor, Obadiah Stane, literally becomes a villain specifically because Tony's trying to do the right thing and it's kind of messing up their money. But ultimately, Tony creates the red and yellow suit we know and love, and he wins. Tony Stark started off bad, but now he's a hero. He was a genius who used his talent to create weapons that destroyed people. Now he does the same to help them. The public loves him. He's smart, he's special, and not everyone can do what he does. Sure, he shakes things up for a bit, but by the end, everything's fine and actually better than before. Tony Stark has found his calling. Fast forward a couple of superhero movies, and eventually,
Yeah, that nigga Tony be always improving every movie. Like every movie he been in. Oh, there's a problem. Next movie, he fixed it, and it's not a problem no more. You feel me? Hey, it's a it's a cool touch to the fucking Marvel universe, you know?
all these characters assemble to form the Avengers, which honestly you've probably heard about even if you've never watched a Marvel movie in your entire life. There's been a bunch of these films, but Infinity War is the one most people agree is peak MCU. The whole plot is basically the Avengers trying to stop this guy called Thanos from collecting all the Infinity Stones, because if he gets them, he can literally snap his fingers and delete half of all life in the universe. And he does it. The movie ends with half the universe just turning into dust. Then the next movie comes out and it picks up 5 years later. The remaining Avengers come up with this whole plan where they go back in time to steal the stones from the past, bring everyone back, and then have one final massive battle with Thanos to save the universe. The thing with these movies is that there are a ton of characters. It's an assembly of people we've met throughout the entire MCU up until that point.
Yeah, that shit was so fucking fire. Oh my God, watching that in theater was so fucking amazing, bro. That gave me fucking shit. Oh, I was a fucking nerd, bro. I was like,
Despite how different they are, all of them are there to do the right thing. It's the idea that heroes will always find a way to fix everything. Without heroes, Thanos wins. Half of everyone stays dead, and the universe is permanently broken. But with heroes, even the most catastrophic loss can be reversed. Even the impossible becomes possible. Heroes are good. Heroes are necessary. Heroes are what saves us when absolutely nothing else can. One of the newest MCU movies is Thunderbolts, which they're literally also calling the new Avengers. It's about this team of people who are supposed to be darker than your regular hero. You've got reformed assassins, ex-criminals,
it's, I don't know. I can't get into it. The Marvel universe has fallen. I don't know if it can get back up. Void was fire as fuck though.
people with serious issues, basically anti-heroes. This is supposed to feel very different from the previous Avengers. The Thunderbolts are literally products of the superhero system. They were broken by it. As the movie goes on, they form a group not because they want to, but because it's the only way for them to survive. But here's the thing, even though they've all done terrible stuff, the movie still frames them as redeemable. Sure, their actions are brutal and their methods are questionable, but the message is the same we've been hearing this whole time. If you fight on the right side, you're one of the good guys. The movie asks if imperfect people can still be called heroes, and the answer is yes. At the end of the day, Thunderbolts is just reinforcing the same myth the MCU has been selling since Iron Man. That heroism, even when it's messy, is ultimately a good thing, and the world is better off with them because they're special and want to do the right thing. But before we get back to Marvel heroes, it is my pleasure to announce this. In the MCU, being a superhero is framed as a calling, a duty, usually driven by inner conviction. It's treated like something sacred, not a job you take, but a role you rise into. It's something that's reserved for a small number of people. This means that heroes are mostly trustworthy. This title is reserved for those who deserve it. If you see someone in a suit with a symbol on their chest, most of the time, you expect them to be good. Don't get me wrong, the MCU definitely explores the idea that heroes aren't always the solution. In fact, Captain America Civil War, which also happens to be my favorite movie,
It was so fucking pointless.
entire thing, is an entire film that
It was a fire movie though. I liked it. It was so it pissed me off because they were all fighting. I'm like, why y'all fighting? Y'all the good guys.
asks if heroes should be regulated and if they're actually helping in the first place. I haven't read too many comic books, so there's a good chance the vibe is completely different there. But the Marvel Cinematic Universe operates on the foundation that superheroes are special and that they are good for the world. They might cause collateral damage, but it's always justified by the bigger threat they're stopping. They might make mistakes, 100%, but they'll fix them. Their existence makes the world safer, more stable, more just. When a crisis shows up, heroes solve it. When a villain threatens humanity, heroes stop them. A world with heroes is better than a world without them. Superheroes are heroes because they're heroic. And this approach works really well for a bunch of reasons. There's something deeply satisfying about knowing who the good guys are and
Right.
watching them win. Thanos wants to destroy half the universe. He's wrong, and he needs to be stopped. Hydra wants to control the world. They're evil, and they need to be stopped. This gives you clarity. The inspiration is real. It motivates people. It gives them hope. The MCU's approach works across cultures, ages, and backgrounds. Billions of dollars and a global cultural phenomenon don't just happen by accident. It translates globally because the core message, good beats evil, superheroes are special, is universal. We don't need to spend time debating whether the Avengers should stop the bad guy or if the hero isn't it for the right reasons. Of course they are. That's a given, which means that the story can focus on how they stop the villains. This efficiency lets Marvel tell epic stories across multiple films without losing momentum. This approach to superheroes is a deliberate storytelling choice with real strengths, but it also has a few weaknesses. By assuming heroes are good and special by default, the MCU shuts down entire categories of questions. It can't really explore whether heroes create the problems that they solve. It can't really examine whether society would be better off without them, or what it truly
Mm,
means to be a hero. There are movies where it does it a little bit, 100%, but it rarely goes deep. And this is where I want to switch to anime because I think that it sometimes takes this whole superhero thing in a slightly different direction. It's a subtle
mm,
shift, but it completely changes how these stories feel. I'm going to show you a couple of them, starting with probably the most popular superhero anime out there. My Hero Academia is set in a world where superpowers are just normal. Here, they're called quirks, and approximately 80% of people have them. When these powers first started showing up, society completely fell apart. There's this whole period called the Quirk War, where everything was just chaos. Superpowers appeared out of nowhere with zero warning, and as people developed them, society had absolutely no idea how to handle it. Governments couldn't keep up, law enforcement was useless, and for a while, it was just pure insanity. It wasn't until after this whole era that they finally implemented a formal hero system with licensed heroes, regulated quirk usage, and actual laws. So now, professional heroes are everywhere. Being a hero is literally just a job. But in this world, people aren't just people who save others. They're also celebrities. They have rank
well, actually, we do get paid in that universe, so I'll be a hero. Not gonna lie, I'll be a hero for the money. I'll get that number one paycheck. You feel me?
rankings, merchandise, and fan clubs. The series really digs into how turning heroism into a market changed everything. Some heroes are competing for media attention and high profile rescues instead of focusing on people who genuinely need help. Some of them pick easy cases that'll boost their stats. The number one hero, Endeavor, mentally and physically destroyed his family for years because he was obsessed with surpassing his rival. And what happens to him? Legally, nothing. A ton of heroes get treated horribly because their powers made them look different from regular people. Almost all the villains in MHA exist because of a world that has
Yeah, Endeavor needs to do some jail time for that shit. Not gonna lie.
superpowers. When the series ends, the characters figure out ways to help people with powers, and guess what? The number of villains goes down, and there's less of a need for heroes, so their number drops too. MHA shows us that superheroes are protectors, sure, but they're also the product of a broken system. The whole series is basically asking, is society better off with or without them? One Punch Man is an extremely popular superhero anime that is technically a comedy, but weirdly enough, it explores this stuff way more deeply than you'd expect. The story is set in a world where superpowered monsters are constantly showing up and threatening to destroy entire cities. To deal with this, society creates the Hero Association, which is basically a formal organization that licenses heroes, ranks them, and deploys them, kind of like in My Hero Academia. But here's what Hero Society is kind of ignoring: the system is broken and biased. The Hero Association cares way more about rankings and public relations than they do about actually protecting people. And One Punch Man doesn't shy away from this at all. The series literally shows us heroes who ignore low level threats because they're not worth the effort. Heroes who
Damn.
care more about their rankings than helping people. Heroes who are only in it for the fame, the money, or their own ego instead of genuinely wanting to protect anyone. Heroes are ranked from class C to class S. But being an S class doesn't automatically make you brave or altruistic like a hero should be. For example, you've got this hero called Amai Mask. He's this handsome, charismatic hero operating as A class rank 1, just below the elite S class tier. He's massively popular with the public, constantly on camera, basically seen as the face of heroism itself. But underneath all that, he's ruthless, manipulative, and obsessed with controlling the hero image. But on the other hand, you also have heroes like Moomin Rider. In pouring rain and with absolutely zero powers, he stands alone against the monstrous deep sea king, an enemy who has already crushed some of the strongest heroes. He knows he can't win, but he charges anyway, shouting that it's a hero's duty to fight for the people, no matter
Mm,
the odds. Each time
damn. I was about to talk shit, but now I feel bad because, like, damn, that's real. Try your best to stay 10 toes, nigga.
knocked down, he gets back up. It's not strength that makes him heroic or the fact that he's a registered hero. It's his refusal to back down. There are definitely other series that go down this route, like Tiger and Buddy. But I also want to talk about this Chinese anime that I think takes this concept and just goes to the absolute extreme. It is called To Be Hero X. Basically, in this world, superpowers literally come from how much the public believes in you. Like, you become a hero when people trust you enough that this trust value thing manifests as actual real powers. This doesn't even need to be because you did something heroic. There are a lot of characters who get high trust scores purely because they're popular on social media or something. The more trust you have, the stronger you become. And it updates in real time based on public opinion. Now, because fame literally equals power in this world, you've got these hero agencies who are out there recruiting celebrities and influencers and turning them into heroes like they're running a talent agency. The public literally determines who wins fights. If your reputation takes a hit and people lose faith in you, your trust value drops in real time and you immediately get weaker. No fans,
Wow. That's weird. It's like, it's not even if clout was a drug. It's like if clout was oxygen, nigga. Oh, if clout was your power level. For real, for real.
no power. The whole thing is basically being manipulated. Being a hero isn't some noble calling. It's basically a profession engineered by people in power. Like hero agencies are actively creating personas of their heroes to appeal to the public. There's this one hero called Nice who was literally constructed as the perfect hero down to the smallest detail. They did stuff like give him elegant hobbies, and they even arranged a staged nemesis for him to fight regularly purely to boost his popularity. But it's all fake. His rival is actually his best friend in real life. A lot of heroes have origin stories or gimmicks that are just tailored for mass appeal. Ghostblade deliberately cultivated this mysterious online image as a silent, cool assassin to gain followers. And then his agency reinforced that in all their marketing. The series shows how the pressure of being a hero, essentially living as the walking embodiment of other people's expectations, inflicts serious psychological damage. A lot of heroes in this show are trapped by their own image. Look, there are definitely anime with
I can't. I can't. It's a dangerous game you playing with that because you playing with niggas' emotions, like niggas' livelihood. Like what the fuck?
classic heroes that are portrayed as demigods. But in a lot of them, it's much less special than that. Sometimes it's literally just a job. Clock in, clock out. There are schools, you can get promoted, and you can get fired. Other times, there are people straight up betting money on whether heroes win or lose. And then sometimes their actual powers are tied to how popular they are. The whole superhero thing loses its magic. It stops being this glamorous calling and becomes something way more ugly. These people can be noble, sure, but they can also be corrupt and completely broken. But here's the real question: which approach is better? And honestly, the answer is complicated. If superhero stories are supposed to inspire us, give us hope, and make us feel that we can become special, then the MCU does this amazingly. But if superhero stories are supposed to make us think about the negative impact of power, then anime can do a more honest and relatable job. MCU often treats it as only those who already have the right heart become heroes, while anime often treats heroism as something more simple. Most people can be called a hero, but few truly are. And this changes what kinds of stories you get. Both can be powerful, but they tell very different things. But in that case, why is superhero anime doing so well while the MCU is kind of struggling? Well, personally, I think it's because anime can actually do both of these things. These series show you that heroism is complicated, but they don't say heroism is worthless. For example, My Hero Academia questions whether building society around powers is a smart move, but it still shows us real heroes in action and real heroism, the determination to save everyone, putting your life on the line to help those in need, the slow, hard work of building a better world despite all the issues going on. It's all there. But at the same time, you also get an honest look at what those powers cost and what they can do to people. It gives you heroes to root for and reasons to question whether having them is a good thing. It says power is dangerous, but sometimes necessary. Heroism is complicated, but still valuable. Systems corrupt people, but individuals can fight against that corruption. Good intentions aren't enough, but they still matter. Listen, I grew up watching the MCU, and at the time, I absolutely loved it. But honestly, looking back at these movies now, I think that the ones that age the best are the ones that ask these questions, like Civil War or even the first Iron Man to a certain extent. Even though I've read like three superhero comic books, I'm kind of gravitating more towards them nowadays because I can just see that there's a larger variety of stories. There's a reason why a lot of people who were teenagers like me when they watched the MCU don't connect with it as much now. And when I look online, I definitely don't feel like younger people are connecting to it either. There are times when you need the MCU's approach, when you need inspiration, when you need hope, when you need to believe that courage matters and that good can beat evil. But considering the world we live in now, I think that we also need something more honest. It feels like people don't want more stories about heroes who always make the right call. They want more stories about the costs of making the right call. And I think that's what
Mm,
superhero anime can give sometimes. It asks whether concentrating power in individuals, no matter how good their intentions, is ever truly a good thing. It suggests that maybe the problem isn't finding the right heroes. Maybe the problem is needing heroes in the first place. Ultimately, I do think that both of these have a similar message. With great power comes great responsibility. But anime's approach can feel more relevant.
taking fucking Uncle Ben, we see. What the fuck? R.I.P.
It shows that power is about what you do when others decide not to do it. It says heroism matters precisely because heroes are not always the good guys. These aren't stories about people who do the right thing just because it's the right thing to do. These are stories about people who do the right thing in a world where it would be so easy not to.
Mm, damn, that was deep. That's the video. I'm telling you, anime. If you're not into anime, just try it, bro. Just try it. Watch some Bleach. Want some action? Naruto, bro. Or like, I would say Bleach. Bleach is pretty good. Bleach is one of the ones. Or JoJo's. Oh, I used, I remember I watched JoJo's. That was a good time. I'm telling you, the storytelling in anime, fucking legendary. Did I mention Demon Slayer? You feel me? Like Demon Slayer is the best anime of all time. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Greatest anime of all time. But without further ado, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that bell, that friendly little bell that keeps you notified with all my pictures. You feel me? Without further ado, we out.